What you're about to hear are 12 real accounts of terror. Stories sent to me by people across Pakistan and beyond. Stories of the unseen, the unexplained, and the unforgiving. Some will make you question reality. Others will make you wish you hadn't listened. But all of them are true. This is a collection of nightmares, and it begins at 2 a.m.
Hospital exterior, 2 a.m. The hour when the living sleep and the dead don't. My cousin and I were visiting a relative in the hospital that night. The hallways were eerily quiet, lit only by flickering fluorescent lights that buzzed like angry insects. Between the canteen and the emergency ward stood an old building, 5, maybe 6 stories tall. It had been abandoned for years. Everyone avoided it, but curiosity, as they say, kills more than cats. Dark corridor, POV with flashlight. We pushed open the rusted door and stepped inside. The corridor stretched before us like a throat leading into darkness. Our phone flashlights cut through the black, illuminating nothing but dust particles dancing in the beam. No lights, no life, just emptiness. Door shaking. We were halfway down the corridor when we heard it, a sound like someone tampering with a door handle. We froze, pointed our lights at the door. It was shaking violently, but there was no one there. Jump scare. Entity appears. Then the door exploded open. A massive figure burst out, human-shaped, but wrong, so wrong. Its body was huge, clothes torn and soaked in blood. Long, matted hair covered its face completely, and it ran straight toward us. The scream it made, I still hear it in my sleep. Running, entity stops at the threshold. We ran, our feet pounded against the concrete as that thing chased us, its screams echoing off the walls. But as we burst out of the corridor into the light, it stopped, right at the threshold, as if an invisible wall held it back, and then it simply vanished. My cousin collapsed. His body hit the floor like dead weight. People rushed over from the canteen, splashing water on his face, trying to bring him back to consciousness. Later, locals told us that building had been demolished years ago. It's a parking lot now, but that night, it was very much there. Hospital ward, days later. My cousin spent 3 days in that hospital with a raging fever, shivering uncontrollably. A few nights later, I found myself back in that courtyard with my nephew. I looked at where the building had stood, and even though it was gone, I could still feel it, watching. This story comes from Roshan. Her family once lived in a house perched on a hill, accessible only by climbing 8 or 9 massive stone stairs. That house had a history. Chairs stacking themselves in the classroom, snakes appearing from nowhere, but nothing prepared them for that night. A storm rolled in. Thunder shook the walls. Lightning turned night into day for split seconds, and then the power died. The house plunged into absolute darkness. Roshan and her 2 younger sisters, aged 13, 12, and 7, huddled together in their room, terrified. Something felt wrong, very wrong. They ran from their room and squeezed into a wooden chicken coop that faced their bedroom window. From inside the cage, they watched in horror as a faint light turned on in the room they'd just left. Whispering voices drifted through the air,
words they couldn't understand. The light began to float from room to room, getting closer, and then a massive black shadow materialized right in front of the chicken coop, towering over them, blocking out everything else. Through the slots, they could see inside their room now. A woman sat on their charpai. She wore a red bridal dress, but her feet were twisted completely backwards. When she turned her head, her face was a mask of pure terror. Their mother's voice called from outside, "Roshan, come out!" But the main door was still bolted from the inside. Their mother was not in the house. The girls fainted. Morning light revealed them unconscious in the chicken coop. By afternoon, the family had packed everything. They never returned to that house. Karim from Hyderabad made a mistake so many young men make. He challenged what he couldn't see. Standing in an empty room, he shouted, "If there is anyone here, come out, show yourself." Pride, arrogance, stupidity, call it what you will, they heard him. Later, he was drinking water in the courtyard when he felt it, eyes on his back. He turned his head slightly, using his peripheral vision. A woman with long, loose hair stood behind him, completely still, staring. He spun around fully. She was gone. His sister walked in from the front door, confused by his panic. The next evening, he went to the roof. An old woman was there, sweeping the same corner over and over and over. He ran downstairs to tell his family. They stared at him. The cleaning lady didn't come today. He raced back upstairs. The roof was empty. No woman, no broom, nothing. That night, Karim prayed. As he recited his salah, strange gibberish voices whispered outside his window. The bedroom door slowly creaked shut behind him. The lock clicked by itself. When he finished praying, he tried the door. Locked. He called his brother, who opened it from outside. The lock had been engaged from the inside. Later that night, as Karim slept, a hand struck his back. 3 hard slaps. He jolted awake, shouting. Everyone else was asleep. And then, a voice. His mother's voice, but his mother wasn't there. "You won't stop, will you?" The challenge had been accepted. Scene 45 to 47. Old village house, kids playing. Arsalan's family had a room, a specific room in their old village house that no one entered. No one, except children who didn't know better. Arsalan and his cousin were playing inside, door wide open for a quick escape. Then came the sound of dishes crashing, pots smashing. From inside the empty room, they screamed and ran. Scene 48. Mother praying. His mother once tried to pray in that room. Halfway through, she sensed someone behind her, someone very tall. She didn't look back, she just ran. Scene 49 to 50. Door slamming shut, banging from inside. Someone pulling the handle. His aunt tried to open it, and it felt like a tug of war. When she finally yanked it open, the room was empty. Scenes 51 to 55. Years later, cricket game. Ali Sher's challenge. Years passed. The house was abandoned. Boys played cricket nearby. Arsalan and Abdullah were sitting on a bench when they heard the door bang loudly. Their cousin, Ali Sher, got angry. "Come face me," he shouted at the house. "I'm not afraid of you." Instant chaos, violent banging, the sound of everything inside being destroyed, and Ali Sher, the brave one, was the first to run. They all followed, never looking back.
Scene 56 to 58. Desolate field, Charpai. Sam, from Peshawar, tells of a day that should have been harmless. He and his friend were making TikTok videos in an open field outside the city. There, baking in the sun, sat an old charpai, a rope bed, abandoned. Sam, tired, lay down on it to rest while his friend scrolled through his phone. Then came the sound, like massive stones grinding together, heavy, oppressive. Sam tried to move. He couldn't. Sleep paralysis gripped him like iron chains. He felt weight pressing down on his chest. Something was there, right above his face, invisible, but there. When they finally got up to leave, the charpai's mattress depressed, as if someone invisible had just sat down. They started walking, faster, faster. They looked back. A vague silhouette sat on the charpai, watching them go. They ran to the nearest mosque. The imam gave them water and a taweez for protection. Musa's family slept in the basement during the hot summer months. There was another basement next to theirs, locked, unused, forgotten. Until the night they heard it. Tack, tack, tack. Rhythmic knocking from behind the locked door. Then the handle began to move, up, down, violently. They shouted upstairs to their grandmother. She called back, confused, "I don't hear anything." But downstairs the banging grew louder, more aggressive. The whole family was awake now, terrified. Musa's mother began reciting Ayatul Kursi. The banging increased, as if it was responding, challenging. They fled upstairs. Morning revealed the price of that night. Strange scratches and bruises covered their arms and legs, marks they couldn't explain, marks that shouldn't have been there. Two young sisters, both in 4th grade, were hiding a tablet under their bedsheet late at night. Then she walked in, a woman in a blue and black dress. She looked like their mother, but her hair was long, curly, blowing in a wind that didn't exist. The windows were closed. She stood in the corner, then sat on the bed. Her hand reached out and stroked one girl's hair. A soft, creepy laugh echoed through the room. Then the hands moved to her neck, tightening, squeezing. The girl screamed. Their real parents burst through the door, flipping on the lights. The bed was half burnt, smoking. Blood was splattered across the wall. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Sounds came from the ceiling. Their parents recited Quran and sprinkled Zamzam water throughout the room. The furniture was removed the next day. June 18th. A date I'll never forget. I rode my bike as fast as it would go, my mother clinging to me, both of us frantic. We arrived at my uncle's house. The air felt wrong, heavy. I entered the room. My brother sat there. His eyes were deep blood red. "Why are you filming me?" he asked in a voice that wasn't his. I wasn't holding anything. He pointed to the empty window. "He's calling me."
He picked up a leather belt, raised it, threatened to hit me. Then he sprinted out of the house to the neighbor's locked gate. He pounded on it, screaming, "Open it! My friend is burning inside!" I tried to stop him. He shoved me so hard I blacked out. When I came to, a crowd had gathered. They'd restrained him. A Hafiz Sahab was called to perform an exorcist ritual. The entity inside my brother spoke in Hindi before finally leaving his body. Abid, living in an old house in Dubai, was listening to loud music one night through his headphones. He glanced at the mirror and watched in horror as a black shadow began crawling out of the glass. It lunged at him. He ran, screaming. A few days later, he walked toward the bathroom in the dark. Chun, chun, the sound of anklets, water splashing inside. He called out. Silence. He turned to leave. A door slammed. He ran without looking back. Zara found a beautiful flower in her garden. Unlike any other, it glowed faintly, ethereal. She picked it, smelled it deeply. That was her mistake. Over the following days, she became distant, empty, staring into space for hours. Then she spoke, in a deep male voice. "She is mine. Stop the wedding." A crash came from the bathroom. The door shattered off its hinges. Inside, Zara sat on the floor, hitting her own feet violently, screaming in a voice that wasn't human. Her funeral was quiet. As they lowered her body into the ground, someone noticed the glowing flower in her room. It was wilting, dying with her. Kianat, from Karachi, woke to heavy breathing next to her ear, 12:15 a.m. Then a slap landed on her cheek over the blanket. She felt the pressure of fingers. She yanked the blanket down. A black shadow dashed toward the storeroom. She checked her phone. 3 a.m. Time had skipped. Later, she walked to the wash basin. A tall figure stood there, over 6 feet, wearing a magician's gown, boots, and hat. Long hair fell past its shoulders. Its nails were impossibly long, sharp. It turned into smoke and flew up to the ceiling. The tap was off, but the sound of running water continued. Harris, from Faisalabad, tells the darkest story of all. His cousin, 18 years old, lay in a diabetic coma, critical condition. A boy in the family decided to perform a ritual. He took the severed head of a black goat, wrapped it in cloth, and carried it to a graveyard at night. He placed it on the ground, pulled out his phone, and started recording. Through the screen, crows and kites descended. Then, in the video only, fire erupted, but not in real life. Later, at home, he looked at chickens, but saw monsters, demonic creatures. His mother entered the room. The shock on her face was instant. He was hanging from the ceiling fan. A shadowy figure had pushed the chair away. At the exact same moment, in the hospital, the girl's eyes shot open. She was fully recovered. The ritual had worked, but the price was a life. The house where he died stands abandoned now. No one goes near it. 12 stories, 12 encounters with the unseen. Some walked away, some didn't, but all of them were changed forever. Remember, the world we see is not the only world that exists, and sometimes the other side sees us too. If you have your own story, your own encounter with the unknown, share it in the comments. And if you're brave enough to hear more, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay safe and never ever challenge what you cannot see.